Hey everyone, welcome to today's live trading session with Octa FX. My name is Ebuka Ambrose, and before I go into today's live trading session, go ahead and type in the comment section your name and where you're watching me from. You can also go ahead to tell me if this is your first time of being part of a live trading session with Octa FX. So if this is your first time, what we do is we analyze pairs and talk about pairs and take trades if we see the opportunity to take trades. So go ahead and type in the comment section your name and where you're watching me from. You can also go ahead to tell me if you were part of the last live trading session we had on Friday. Okay, let's look at who we have here. Victor Aja from Nigeria, Joseph from Calabar, Vivian from Enugu, Tabitha from Nigeria says it's first time. Jenny, first time, welcome. Johnson from Lagos. Michael Obilade says he's new, welcome Michael. Samuel Deborah from Nigeria. Obricado from Johannesburg says he's a newbie, welcome. Abimbola from Ogun State. Massive welcome to you guys. So like I said, for the newbies, the live trading session is basically where we analyze pairs and talk about pairs and look for opportunities to trade the market. So the first thing I want to do is talk about disclaimer. Any opinion, news, research, prices, analysis, or other information discussed in this live trading session or linked to this presentation are provided as general market commentary and do not constitute investment advice. Trading is risky. Okay, so since we have a lot of first timers and beginners, I would like to talk to you guys about framework, which is an important thing that you should have as a trader while analyzing the market, right? So a framework is basically like if you have like a plan, something that helps you know when to buy or when to sell the market. So a framework is like let's say you are trying to build a house, right? You need to have like the building plan that you would build this house according to. So your framework or market structure should be something that should be in your framework. Market structure basically helps you understand and define the current market condition. Market structure would give you buying or selling opportunities, and you can identify market structure with a candlestick chart, the chart pattern, trends and ranges. You can identify market structure with supply and demand. Your framework should also contain key levels, which are trend lines, moving average, support and resistance. If you don't know what that is, support is an area on your chart where buying pressure could kick in. Resistance is an area on your chart where selling pressure could step in. And your framework should also contain entries, right? So these are the things that would show you how to enter the market or when to enter the market. And your entries contain candlestick patterns or moving average. And your framework should also contain your exit point, which is, if you've opened the trade, you have to close the trade to determine your financial results, right? So your exits can be made up of swing highs and swing lows, or stop loss and take profit orders. So these are like orders where you tell your broker that you want to take a certain amount of profit, or you want to stop at a certain point if the market is going against you. Okay, so yeah, your framework should also contain risk management, which involves risk and reward, or the use of stop loss, right? So risk and reward basically tells you how much you want to risk and for how much reward you want to get on a trade. And your stop loss, like I said, is an order that you tell your broker you want to get stopped out if the market goes against you. Okay, so The last live trading session we talked about some pairs. We looked at Euro USD and pound dollar, and I took some trades on this pair. So I'm just going to go ahead to show you guys these trades and give you guys like an analysis as to why I took those trades, right? Okay, so the first one here is GBP USD, which is the pound dollar. We were in profit of 94 pips. And why did I take that buy on the pound dollar? Remember guys, we did this analysis and I told you guys that it's important to wait for confirmation on market so that you can take your trades, right? So if you look at the pound dollar chart right now, the first thing you're going to identify is this support level right here, this significant support level on the pound dollar, where markets made like 3 touches, like a double bottom, tested the first time, came back to make another retest, could not break through, came back to make another retest. And in a double bottom formation, you get to see what we call the neckline, which is going to serve as a resistance for that double bottom, something like this. So you can see that this served as a resistance for this double bottom because price could not break below, price could not break above, made another retest, could not break below, came back to make another retest, could not break below, and price finally broke above this point. And that's what you want to look for in a double bottom, a break above the resistance and a possible pullback, and then a break above that pullback. In this case, there was a break above this pullback at this point, right? So if you notice, the market broke above this significant long rejection candlestick, and that was what gave me an indication to take a buy on pound dollar. I'm still going to talk about what I think would happen in the coming weeks for pound dollar, but I'm just analyzing or giving you guys reasons why I took those trades last week, but this week, yeah. So the second one is Euro AUD, right? Euro AUD was a sell. We took a sell on Euro AUD and we were in profit of 112 pips. So why did I take a sell on Euro AUD? So I'm going to go to the Euro AUD chart. Yeah, this one. And yeah, in the last live trading session, I think Euro AUD was somewhere around here, where we identified this double top formation and we were waiting for a break on Euro AUD, right? We didn't get that break, we got a pullback and price reacted at this point. The bullish momentum was not sustained, and then we started seeing these corrections these corrections on Euro AUD, spotted this bearish engulfing candlestick on the 1 hour time frame. I'm just going to highlight that for you guys. Let's see if I can zoom in. Yes, so you see this candlestick that completely engulfs this previous bullish candlestick. So that was like an indication for me to take a sell. The stop loss was placed above that candlestick and we rode Euro AUD to the downside, right? So I'm still going to talk about what I think would happen to Euro AUD in the coming weeks. But the next pair, the next one was Euro NZD, right? Euro NZD was in profit of 75 pips. It was a sell. So why did I sell Euro NZD? Okay. So from the last live trading session, Euro NZD was also at a key level. Just the same thing. It did exactly the same thing as Euro AUD, where you saw rejections. This candlesticks with wicks these doji candlesticks and the indecision candlesticks, and price couldn't break above or sustain that bullish pressure, and we started seeing some pullbacks and some retracements, and price also formed a bearish engulfing candlestick that completely engulfed this bullish candlestick before it. That was an indication to take a sell on Euro NZD. The next one was Euro USD, which was a buy. So if you recall in the last live trading session, Euro USD was at a significant monthly support level. I'm going to show you guys that on the chart. Let me go to the monthly. So Euro USD was on this support, sitting on this support last week. And remember, I told you guys that the definition of support is basically an area on your chart where buying pressure could kick in, right? If you notice at this point, Euro USD was here, buying pressure kicked in and it pulled back, came back here to make a retest, buying pressure kicked in and it pulled back, and Euro USD came back this month to make a retest at this support level, buying pressure kicked in. And if you notice, let me zoom in, if you look closely, you're going to see this long wick that shows rejection, right? And then price went back upwards. Now this is not a complete indication that the euro would start going back up, but if I go to the lower time frames, you'd see that on the 1 hour time frame, actually, you'd see that Euro USD made a double bottom at this point. And when a double bottom is formed, you're going to see necklines that, if broken, would confirm or would indicate the price would push to the upside. And what did we see? First test, second test formed the double bottom. We saw price make consolidations at this point. And if I zoom in, you're going to see a breakout of these consolidations. Let me highlight. So this was like a confirmation to take a buy on Euro USD because price broke out of this consolidation and we bought Euro USD. That's how we got 116 pips in profit on Euro USD. Let's talk about gold. This Euro USD trade was actually was taken at the same time with this one, just that the stop loss was set into profit. You know what a trailing stop is when your trade is in profit, and you can now move your stop loss into profit to secure some positions, so that if markets reverses, it doesn't get back to break even and you lose all your profit, right? Just like you have here, Euro USD, right, came to this point and started reversing. So if we bought around here and we put our stop loss into profit somewhere around here or somewhere around here, even as the market is reversing, it can close us out in profit, so we don't have to lose this profit, the profit that we made from this point to this point. So that's just how a trailing stop works. So for the gold trade, gold is on an obvious downtrend, but we took a buy on gold trade. I'm going to explain to you guys why we took a buy on gold. Put that out. Okay, so like I said, this on the 1 hour time frame on gold. Yeah, we saw price making significant lower highs and lower lows. And the reason for taking that buy was price made a retest at this trend line. This trend line was formed on the 16th of May, which was, I think, on Monday. Yeah, so price came to make a retest at this trend line. And if you notice, if you look at this strong bearish candlestick, you're going to see that it did not close below the trend line. There was no sustained bearish pressure below the trend line, and market began to pull back. So we joined in the pullback for a 1 to 3 risk to reward ratio, and that's how we were in about 70 pips profit on gold. So this is just an analysis on the trades that were placed from the last week live trading session. I'm going to talk about what the markets are doing right now and what I think about the markets. And if you have any questions as well, you can go ahead and type your questions in the comment section below. I'm going to answer your questions. And if you also have like currency pairs that you want me to analyze for you guys, you can go ahead and type those currency pairs in the comment section and I would analyze them. All right, so we're looking at Euro USD right now. Euro USD reacted to this supply zone. I mean, if I take this back, you can see that this was a significant level for Euro USD. Price tested this level multiple times in the past, and price reacted to this level today and started to pull back. Now, Euro USD generally doesn't look good. If I'm saying based on fundamental analysis, so a confirmation to go short on Euro USD would be if price sustains a bearish momentum below this support. I'm going to highlight the support for you guys right now. So you see, this is why this is a support. It tested at this point, came back to make a retest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and now price is just below that support level. So you want to see Euro USD close bearish under this support level to get confirmations to go short on Euro USD. Okay, if price pulls back upwards and you see bullish momentum, then shorting Euro USD would be cancelled. But right now, I'm going to say Euro USD is could potentially go down to the 1.0435 and 1.0389 zones, right? Because you're seeing strong bearish momentum on Euro USD right now, but we can wait for a close or a consolidation and a breakout to go short on Euro USD. Okay, so the next pair I'm going to analyze is Gbp USD, which is the pound dollar. Okay, so the pound dollar is currently sitting on a resistance that was turned support after this breakout. I'm just going to take this out so you guys can see clearly. So this was a previous resistance from 6th May where price made multiple touches and could not break above, but finally broke above yesterday, and now it has come back to make a retest and another retest. So it's going to serve as a support, and that's what happens with support and resistance. If support is broken, go turn to resistance. If resistance is broken, could turn to support at a retest, right? So a confirmation to go short on pound dollar would be, price closing bearish below this support, and then you see, consolidations or a breakout from that consolidation, or you could also see, bearish momentum, another candlestick opening with strong bearish momentum, and you go short, or you wait to see how price reacts to this level, because this is a significant level from the past, right? So you have to, or you can wait for price to react to this level, see if it's going to pull back up, see if it's going to pull back up into pull back up above the support level, or break down below, and then you take your sell. So that's on pound dollar. We're also going to look at AUD USD, right? I'm looking at the comment section to see if you guys have currency pairs that you want me to analyze. Okay, so for those of you talking about needing a manual, there are, educational resources and videos by forex trading experts on the Octa FX YouTube channel, right? So you want to, after this live, after this live trading session, you want to check the Octa FX YouTube channel for these educational videos that would, give you a clearer understanding on the basics of trading, straight up to the advanced levels of trading. And you can come back to this live trading session and get, understanding after you've watched these videos. Okay, someone wants me to analyze gold. I'm going to analyze gold, but let's look at AUD USD, right? So we have upcoming news on the Australian dollar at 9:30 Nigerian time. Upcoming news on unemployment rate and employment change. And if you look at AUD USD, let me go to the higher time frames. Actually, I don't think I said this earlier, but the importance of starting from the higher time frames is to get a clearer picture of what the market is doing, right? And AUD USD is still trading, below this trend line. As you can see, it's trading below this trend line. It has tried to break, made a test at the trend line, could not break above the trend line, made another test at the trend line at this point, could not break above, and we are currently seeing strong, bearish momentum on AUD USD. Looking at this, the last two, or the previous candlestick of the last month and the current candlestick, right? So I'm going to go ahead to the daily time frame. And I can extend this horizontal, I can extend this rectangle to this point, and you can clearly see that this was a previous support level for the Aussie dollar on the daily time frame, right? The market made a test at this point on the 3rd of December. Market made another test at this point in February, and market broke below this key support level on the 9th of May, and market is back there right now making a retest, right? So what you want to do for AUD USD is to wait and see if markets would sustain this bullish pressure. If you look at for the past 3 days, AUD USD has been closing bullish, right? This previous candlestick was bullish, was bullish, was bullish, and now we are seeing a pullback um with this bearish rectangle that is forming right now. So what normally happens at a breakout and a retest is, most times or sometimes, the market tends to drop downwards at the retest. That's if there's a rejection, right? If there's no rejection and we continue to see bullish momentum on AUD USD, then price could get to 0.709. If it breaks it, then price is coming back to 0.7185. But it's important to take note of this zone, because this could be a lower high for AUD USD, right? It's formed a lower low, a lower high, another lower low. This could serve as a lower high for AUD USD. So we want to keep an eye on this currency pair, see if it can break above this resistance, above this trend line, and above this resistance, so that we could look for buying opportunities. If it doesn't do that and it breaks below this support level, then we are going to look for selling opportunities on AUD USD. Vicent is asking, what does it mean when equity is higher or lower than the balance? Okay, so equity is just your balance plus profit or minus loss, right? So if you have a balance of, for example, you have a balance of like $500, right? And you place trades, right? And you're in profit of let's say $20 on those open trades. Your equity is going to be your balance plus, if you're in profit, it's going to be a plus your open trades, or if you're in a loss of like $20, it's going to be minus your open trades. So the equity is basically the balance plus or minus open trades, right? So if you have like a trading account or a trading balance of $500 and you're in profit of $20, I mean, when I mean profit, I'm talking about trades that are still open, right? So your equity is just going to calculate your balance plus these open trades to give you $520. And if those trades are in a minus of $20, your equity is going to subtract 500 or subtract 20 from 500, and the equity would be $480. So that's what equity means. Okay, so let's look at someone is talking about Euro card. I think I have Euro card here. Okay, no. I think I have, yeah. Okay, so remember, guys, I talked about framework. So a framework should contain your market structure, which tells you when to buy, when to sell, which basically just tells you what's going on in the market. So when you come into the market, the first thing you want to do is to identify your levels. As you can see, an area of support right here on Euro card. And you can see that Euro card is forming, series of lower highs and lower lows. It couldn't form a lower low at this point, but price did not break above it. I'm just going to highlight that as well. I can take this back. Like I said, guys, euro is not looking good fundamentally, so our eyes should be on shorting euro. And we had news release on the Canadian dollar, positive reports on the Canadian dollar. So we're going to see the Canadian dollar get or gain some strength in the coming weeks. So we're seeing price reject to this newly formed resistance. This was a previous support that was broken, guys. and price made a retest but couldn't break above it, made another retest, couldn't break above it, made another retest, couldn't break above it, and now we're seeing price currently at this support level. Now, there was no sustained bullish pressure, right? We see the pullback, but there was no sustained bullish pressure. And I'm just going to go to the lower time frames to see possible chances that Euro USD could go back down. Okay, so Euro card rather. This is Euro Canadian dollars. So Euro card made a pullback, but we're now seeing, or we saw consolidations and retracements to the downside. I'm not seeing, any strong bearish momentum on Euro card. We can still wait for Euro card to get back down here. Let me check how many pips that is. That's about 64 pips, right? So we can and this is also a minor key level for Euro card. If I take this back to this point, you're going to see a test at this point, you're going to see consolidations at this point, and market is currently, or Euro card is currently at that same point where it made multiple touches. Okay, so we want to see what Euro card does here. If you see bullish momentum on Euro card, when I mean bullish momentum, I'm talking about candlesticks that show strong bullish momentum, that close where you see this long real body of the candlestick close bullish, right? And then a follow-up would indicate excuse me, a follow-up would indicate that Euro card could come back to make a retest at this point. But if we sustain bearish pressure below this point, then Euro card could potentially come back to make a retest at 1.393. Going to indicate that as well. So yeah, from the 1 hour, the candlestick is still bullish, although we're seeing bearish rejections at this point. I mean, this candlestick has a very long wick, which is longer than the body, so it shows that the bears are still in control of this pullback. So if it closes bearish, we're looking to short Euro USD, but this is about 64 pips. So if you're a scalper, you should keep your stop loss tight, probably above 1.347 or 1.347. Like that's like 20 pips above your entry point, or 25 pips. Okay, please analyze gold. Okay, let me quickly look at what's happening with gold right now. The last live trading session where I talked about gold breaking out of, let me take this out. Okay, so in the last live trading session where I talked about gold breaking, below this trend line that has served as a support. If we go way back to this trend line, has served as a support from March 2020, right? Market was making multiple retests at that trend line, but could not break below it. But markets broke, the gold broke below that trend line that served as support on the 12th of May, right? And there was another follow-up that indicated strong bearish pressure, right? But I told you guys that gold could still potentially make a retest at this trend line, and that's what happens with breakouts. Sometimes you get to see retest at the previous support or retest at the previous resistance, and now we are seeing this strong rejection. This means that the buyers have been rejected, right? So go to the 4-hour time frame. you can see this strong rejection, and the next candlestick was still a strong bearish candlestick that indicated that the market would go down to make a retest. So gold is currently trading within 1797 and 1833. So what we want to look out for on gold right now is, I mean, we are seeing a strong rejection on gold right now, which indicates that the buyers have been rejected strongly. So if this could break below this trend line, if gold breaks below this trend line 1809 and sustains a bearish pressure, gold could get down to 1801, right? That's about 100 pips from this trend line, and a break below this trend line would also indicate downward movement. I mean, we are seeing series of lower highs and lower lows on gold, right? Lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, right? So gold could potentially come down to form another lower low somewhere around here, and a confirmation to short gold would be at the break of this trend line, probably a pullback or a break out of this support, right? Because this is a significant support level from 13th May. Price made a retest. Price made a test that this support could not sustain the bearish pressure. There was a pullback. Price made another retest on the 16th of May. Made another retest that same 16th. So as you can see, rejections from the sellers, rejection from the bears, gold could potentially come down to make a test at 1801. Now, I talked about framework and how frameworks can help you, identify when to buy, when to sell, when to exit a trade, when to enter a trade. It's also important that you get confirmations on your trades, right? You can have your strategies, but you also need to get a confirmation to actually buy or sell, right? For example, you can see that this is forming what looks like a triangle, an ascending triangle. You can't really call this an ascending triangle because it hasn't made at least 5 touches on both support and resistance. Talking about the trend line right now, so it hasn't made at least 5 touches on the trend line. So you can only call this, an ascending triangle if you see, if it has been completely formed. That's the same thing with confirmations, right? You can do your analysis, but you get the confirmation to place your trades once you see, this candlestick patterns, or whatever you use to confirm that you should take a buy or take a sell. So that's on gold. I'm going to take the last one. Progress says I should analyze NZD USD. So what do you want to do? You want to go to the higher time frames and identify key levels on your chart, because it's actually important. The higher time frames give you like an overall interpretation of what is going on in the market, right? And as you can see, NZD USD is on a key support level from 2016, 2019. It broke out of this level, went back in, and came back this month to make a test at that key support level, right? We're seeing pullbacks, which is what happened here and here and here. We're also seeing pullbacks, but this is not a direct indication that the market is going to shoot back up. I'm just going to go to the lower time frame. Let's go to the daily time frames, right? So we're seeing these pullbacks, but this is not like an entire indication that, oh, this market is trying to reverse because as a matter of fact, we're also seeing rejections from this newly formed bearish candlestick on the daily time frame, right? Let's go to the 4-hour. Overall, on the 4-hour time frame, we're also seeing a downtrend. And this is why I said, these pullbacks do not indicate that market is going to make a reversal, because we're having a test at this resistance. Another test could not break above. Market is making multiple tests. Market has made multiple retests at this resistance but cannot break above. And what's happening is dropping downwards, right? This could potentially head back down to this point. So if you want to take a sell on NZD/USD, let me look at. So if you want to take a sell in NZD/USD, you can wait for a break below this 200 period moving average on the 1-hour time frame. If market sustains, if NZD/USD sustains a bearish momentum below that, that can be your indication to go short on NZD/USD and trade it down to 0.6227. That's about 75 pips. But then you want to see a breakout, and a breakout of possible pullbacks, or a breakout of possible pullback and retest, and you want to see confirmations, this candlesticks that would indicate bearish momentum, and that can be your indication to go short on NZD/USD. Alternatively, I can only go long on NZD/USD if it breaks above this resistance. It has tried to break above this resistance multiple times in the past, but it couldn't. So if I see rejections at this point on market and the Kiwi dollar breaks above this resistance, that can be my indication to start looking for buying opportunities on the Kiwi dollar. Okay, so you want to look out for break below 200 period moving average, possible pullbacks, and a break below that pullback, or selling pressure, selling indications on a retest at this zone to go short, or a break above this resistance, and pullback or retest and indications of buying pressure to go long on the Kiwi dollar. Euro/USD, I analyzed Euro. That was the first pair I looked at today. Okay, I'm just gonna take this last question. Somebody's saying I should talk about lot size. So lot size is just the amount of units of a currency pair that you want to buy, right? There are videos that explains lot size in detail in the Octa FX YouTube channel, so you can take advantage of those videos to understand exactly the types of lot size and how many units of a currency you can buy or sell with these different types of lot size. So it was an amazing live trading section with you guys. I'll see you guys next week.